And we are live on another Tuesday night. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, how are you?
I'm well. Good evening, everyone.
Huge show tonight.
Yes.
Fully packed show. We're actually going an hour and a half tonight because we're revving it up. You know, Kenny, our guy from Maryland, said you guys got to go too. We're going an hour and a half, Kenny. So here we go. What we got tonight?
We have a couple special guests. We're going to do our usual, football picks, review our picks from last week, pick the Week 7 games as well. We'll do a little field hockey state tournament preview in some of the northern New Jersey brackets. But the big part of our show is our special guest this evening. We are welcoming Becton football. We are welcoming West Essex football. We are welcoming Millburn girls tennis. And we have our first guest is going to be a high school official who's going to talk about some of the rule changes for the upcoming winter season for basketball.
Yes, go.
So,
ready to roll.
ready to go. We
Ready
have
to
our
roll.
first guest ready, so I'm actually going to let him in from the waiting room.
Okay.
We are going to welcome Mr. Robert Neely, who is a high school official. Oh, up in the game.
There it is.
Welcome.
Thanks, guys. This spot is brought to you by our paid presenting sponsor, Smoky Beard Cooks. So, how you guys doing?
We're doing good. How about you?
I'm nervous, to tell you the truth.
Oh, come on. But why? You got the best. Listen, Coach Breslin had the best background. Now you got a little competition now tonight.
Absolutely. You definitely upped it. Definitely upped the game.
Our guy Kenny from Maryland saying good evening. So let's get to the hot topics with him.
Absolutely. Before, we want to thank you for your viewership. One of our regulars who's always commenting and watching. So thank you for that, and it's a pleasure to have you on. So welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So it looks like you would like to talk to us a little bit about. I'm actually very interested to hear this evening. Coming into the winter sports season, we're just kind of wrapping up the fall sports. It was uncertain how things were going to unfold, and now we'll kind of be taking on a new challenge that the winter sports will provide. So would you speak a little bit to us about the NJSIAA basketball rules modifications?
Yeah, so let's get into what they sent out. It's all on their website, so it's out there for everybody to see. The first thing is they're getting rid of the jump ball because of contact. It's going to be a coin toss, and then all the alternating possessions are going to be based off of who started the game with the ball. Another thing that's interesting is the pregame conference. In the pregame conference, we always get a feel for the captains, the coaches, and, what kind of game we're going to expect. Sometimes, a coach will bring out 2 or 3 captains because it's senior night. Now that's limited to 1 player per team, 1 coach per team, no handshakes before or after. We read the statement, we do the coin toss, and we talk about uniform regulations and move on. Getting into the game, they recommend, or it's actually optional, to use electronic whistles. I don't know how I feel about that. And another option would be you can wear a mask that Fox 40 came out with. I think a couple other brands did, where the mask fits over the whistle. But that's got to be somewhat odd as well. I haven't used any of that yet. Another pregame thing is we are going to visually and verbally confirm rosters and starters at the table, but never touch the books, never sign the books, which we've always initialed next to, players.
Yeah.
So that's something. And what's interesting with that too is at the sub-varsity level, you have kids doing the books for the most part. And, so now you don't have as much oversight on either side, from the scorer's table or from us. What else do we have?
Rob, real quick, I want to cut you off because Coach Breslin has a question. He said, yes, what is up with no jump ball? I heard that. The game has plenty of contact. Why? Is there a reason for that, did they say?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, so from what I've gathered from the 3 meetings I've attended so far is that they're trying to eliminate as much contact as possible. They only want contact with opponents that's permitted. So I guess that's, posting up. what about here? Talk about contact. What about diving on the ball? How many times, on the floor did you say, get on the floor, get on the floor?
Yeah.
That floor is disgusting. And now you have how many people jumping all over the place for a jump ball?
Or even just a legit, contested jump ball where two kids are just grabbing at it. There's going to be like contact where, yes, I mean, it's, part of the game. And I guess you're eliminating the jump ball. It's considered unnecessary, but they're going to have plenty of contact through the game, which just makes it seem like,
I got a quick one for you. Again, and you're bringing up all this stuff, and again, thank you for coming on because it's very interesting to hear it. But from an official's point of view, like, what's going to be just a couple of like just tough ones for you just to like shake to where you're like, oh wait, I can't do that, or I have to do it this way now. What's a couple where you could just go and say, I don't know, like it's just going to be hard for as an official to get used to this.
I'll tell you right away, game management is the first thing that comes to mind. And I'll give you an example in hoops and a baseball one real quick. In hoops, if I see that 22 is, getting a little feisty, but I don't need to, call something on him right away, I could prevent it. I might run by to the bench on my way down the court and say, hey, coach, two's got to come out for a second, Now I have a mask on, so I'm going to be saying that either muffled or louder so that everybody hears it. So
discreet.
I can't be discreet, And in baseball in the past, if a pitcher was doing a little something funky, but it's not, it's not blatant, I might tap the catcher on the back and say, hey, bud, go take a trip, let him know. So those are two easy examples of how the game changes.
I was perusing the rules that you shared with the rule changes, I should say, that you shared with Kurt and I know maybe you were going to get to this, but I don't know if I read this correctly, and I was hoping maybe you could elaborate or give us the clear definition of this change. Am I reading this correctly on free throws that you are not going to pass the ball to the shooter?
Yeah, I was actually talking to Kurt about that earlier today.
Okay.
They want us to eliminate the amount of times we touch the basketball. So that's odd because how many times does the player at the end of a play turn and give the ball to an official?
Right. At a timeout, at anything. Or even like you just, I'm picturing the game and like everybody's lined up and the officials in the lane and they're like two shots and they bounce the ball to the kid. Like I'm just like, who's even going to get the ball?
Yeah, so they want us to do a lot of use more verbal cues. Wait for my whistle, on an inbound. So the player will have the ball at their disposal, and then we're going to hold up the stop sign and verbally let them know that on my whistle we're going to start the count and the ball is in play once it crosses.
Okay. By the way, you're getting a couple of shout outs from Kenny and Marilyn and, of course, John Beelan. So they're giving you shout outs. What else did I want to had another question for you. So besides that, anything else, what do you think the players are going to have problems with, in your opinion?
Well, I guess one thing that goes through all the sports is a mask. Does their family want them to wear a mask? Do they want to wear a mask? That mask now is part of the uniform, so it has to fall in line, just like the shooting sleeves. You can't have some wacky color like my shirt here if your school colors are red and white. It has to be solid. It has to match just like the undershirts with the rest of your teammates. And it also can't say, John 3:16 on it or it's got to just have the Nike swoosh and that's it, or the Under Armour logo and that's it.
So just another piece of equipment you got to worry about, pretty much.
Yeah. Or the headbands with girls. I'll tell you the truth. I understand the headband rule and the undershirts, but one thing I never got was the socks. Socks were never regulated with high school basketball, but it is in soccer and baseball. So I don't know.
It's true. As a field hockey player, it's in field hockey as well, especially a game where you're sometimes looking at the ground, you see those sock colors and it helps you distinguish between the teams, Yeah, so that's
100%.
Before we have a couple rapid fire questions for you, since when you're a guest, we gotta do it. Beelan saying, I'm sorry, these rules are crazy, so pointless. The basketball is being touched all game, kids up against each other. I mean, it's what it's what everyone's probably going to say, but hey, you got to have something, there's rules, precautions, like you're saying. And, we'll go from there. But before I get to the rapid fire, I want you to talk about the background a little bit. Let's do a little. Let's explain what it is.
During COVID, I was so crazy. I didn't have baseball. I wasn't going into the office. I was working from home. I always loved to cook. I needed a hobby. So I went and got a 25-pound bag of sea salt from Sicily, and I started smoking it for 24 hours. And I've always gardened. So then I started drying some of the peppers, and I started off with habanero salt, and I sell all this stuff on my website and on Etsy, and it got me through COVID.
There you go.
Very nice, very nice.
I mean, I'm a picky eater. I would say I'd try it, but I'm picky, man. I'm picky. But let's hit him up with a couple rapid fires.
Absolutely.
Before we go. All right.
Rapid fire is just some quick, fun questions. So these are the easy ones.
Okay. One word answer only. 2-part question. Mr. Cohen today said, in 3 to 5 years, he's going to be slightly disappointed if he doesn't bring a world championship to the New York Mets. In one word, how fired up are you?
Extremely.
And part 2, does he get that championship in 3 to 5 years?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Cha-ching, he's got the money, right? All right, my question for you is, I have heard that you are a diehard Mets fan and also a diehard Tennessee Titans fan. So if you can only witness one team win a championship from this point on, who are you choosing?
It's the Mets.
Well, you might get it in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So you would take the Mets over that one yard versus the Rams. You would go one more Mets in this area.
Yeah. Hey, it was the last push in Super Bowl history, by the way.
There you go. And one more question. Kenny's saying roses or labella, Neely?
Roses, corner slice.
There you go. All right, Neely,
nice.
Rob, thank you seriously so much. We're going to have you throughout the year because this
Absolutely.
is phenomenal, having like this inside scoop and stuff like that.
A perspective from the officials' point of view is great. Good luck to you. Stay safe in the winter sports. Indoors, a whole new set of challenges. So good luck.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Take
Rob.
care.
Bye bye.
right.
So very nice.
Absolutely.
Getting that perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coach Breslin's saying great job when Coach Breslin gives the okay. A couple more comments too before we wait for Coach from Becton. Jim Sickinger saying hi hoops, Division I field hockey.
Hello,
Picky,
Mr.
that's an
Sickinger.
understatement. He's also saying time to pull the plug on high school sports. So
you know that could be a hot topic for maybe next week. You know what? I know it's tough. It's tough.
You don't want to hope. I know if Frankie was on, he'd be saying no, but hopefully let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Zoli saying no chance. Kurt tried habanero sea salt, and he's laughing. No shot. So what's next up on the docket here?
We do have Coach Maher from Becton in the waiting room, so
Okay.
I am going to admit him and let him in.
Absolutely.
So let's get him rolling. Hi, Coach. Welcome to the show. Oh, you're on mute.
How are you guys? Thanks
There's
for having me.
Coach. How are you, Coach?
All right.
Coach, welcome to the show. I want to introduce you to our audience as the head coach of Becton football, off to an impressive 4-0 start. So congrats to a great start to your season. Competing in the North Jersey Interscholastic Conference Meadowlands Division, where you did clinch that division and will now be participating in the NJIC Championship pod. So congrats and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Coach.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're not going to grill you too hard tonight. We know you got a big game this week, but a couple questions for you. I was an assistant offensive coordinator at St. Mary's for 6 years, so I obviously know the St. Mary's and Becton rivalry. And before we get into my question, I'll be honest, it was always fun playing Becton because I remember Coach Sheridan always saying, like, you better be ready this week because they're going to be ready, And so going to that tradition, if you can just give us a brief overall, little of the Becton football tradition.
Overall, the St. Mary's and Becton, it's always been, it's a close rivalry. I mean, we could literally walk to each other's field. So it's always been a tough game for us. We wound up playing them last year, and they got the better of us. But just the proximity, it really leaves us open for a good competition against them all the time.
And if you want to just mention just the Becton tradition overall, the football tradition at that school.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're known as a football school without a doubt. We've had one losing season in the past, like 15 or 16. We're always in a hunt for league titles and state playoff berths. Obviously not this year, but it's a football school. The administration is behind us as a football school, and then that's no disrespect to the other programs we have in the school, because there's other coaches in that school that do a tremendous job. Basketball team's been phenomenal. Baseball team's been turned around. Girls sports are awesome too. But over the years, even since when I was in high school, it's always been Becton being a football school.
Okay, I just want to get a couple comments coming in. Coach Breslin is saying Becton alum, welcome, Coach. We got a Janie Grindler Feinberg saying woohoo, Jackie. And our guy Kenny, welcome Becton from Maryland. Best of luck to you and your staff.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
So, Coach, in doing, a little research about your program, and looking at this year's, impressive start, and I'll get a little more into that. Last year you had two maybe like lopsided losses, let's say, to Cresskill and Hasbrook Heights, right? This season you have a great turnaround, beating them and shutting them both out. And speaking of shutouts, you guys are unscored upon this season. So I was wondering if you could tell us, what do you attribute this defensive turnaround to? And maybe could you speak specifically to some of your defensive players?
Yeah, absolutely. Defensively, it's on the kids, to be honest with you. The kids they're a great group of kids. They want to be coached. They want to listen. They want to learn, and they want to do their job, which is the thing that we've been preaching defensively all season. We have a tremendous defensive coordinator. 28 years old, Greg Barbo, does a great job. He puts kids in the right spots. And he puts the kids in the right spots to succeed, to be successful. And we look a lot better when we put kids in a chance to be successful, and they do it. They do their job, and that's the bottom line.
And in addition to not allowing a point yet this season, you guys are also averaging 32 points per game. So can you talk a little bit about your offensive standouts?
Yeah, let me go back to defense. I'm sorry, I didn't mention any kids.
That's okay.
There's kids that have been starting as sophomores, even freshmen and sophomores that on both sides of the ball. So for the past couple of years, they took a beating, but they've gotten back up, and they learn from their experience. And you can't teach experience. Either they have it or they don't, and almost all these kids do. We got a great defensive line. Ryan Reed, who's a solid defensive end. He can chase people down. He can drop into coverage if we need to. Got a couple sacks on the year. Tommy Manaya, he's just an animal playing at a 3-tech. I'm sorry, at a 1-tech. As tough as they come, and probably one of the hardest workers on the team that we have. Linebacker core is just really good too. I think Bobby Collinari is leading us in tackles, and he's all over the place. He's not afraid of anything. He's a one-way player, which we have a couple of them this year, which is very weird for a Group 1 school, but that really helps us out. And our secondary is very experienced. We have Sincere Baco's been tremendous out there. Marcus Duran. Joey Krafasti was our quarterback, and it's weird that he's actually playing defense. He's been asking me for a couple of years, since last year, since he started quarterback, to play defense, and I wouldn't let him. But being that this is like a very shortened year, we've only played 4 games. It's the middle of November. We've only played 4 games. So, get your best 11 on the field, and that's what we've done, and it's been working out.
Coach, before you go to the offense, I just want to get a couple comments. There's one from a Greg Oreo, it looks like. He's saying you're a legend, hands down. There's from a Janet. Can you say your name one more? I just want to mispronounce it to everybody. Maher. Okay. So there's a Janet Maher saying go Wildcats. Lisa McGrath saying go Jack. Melissa Dunn, once a Wildcat,
It's a
always
fan
a
club.
Wildcat. And then Anna Vecchione saying go Wildcats.
Love
So-
it.
I don't know any of those people.
All right, sorry. So you can go back to the offense.
That's the offense. Yeah. So Joey Kravitz is our quarterback. He's he's hands out our leader. He's he has the ball in his hands all the time. He's the one that we do or die with, and so far we're doing with. We have a couple backs that we could rotate in and out with Sonny Vergusa, Jonathan Williams, and Sincere Baycoat. It's literally like a three-headed monster. We move them all over the place. They're lined up outside. They're lined up in the slot. They line up in the backfield. And then receivers, we have kids that could catch the ball too. Ryan Reed's been really good, very dependable. Ty Manaya has been out there. Marcus Duran. So we have people that have to be accounted for on the defensive side of the field.
Okay, this might be the best comment you're going to get all night. It says, "Go, Daddy, love Matthew."
Aw.
Nah.
So then we got one from a Mark G saying, "Good looking coach." John Beelan is a Garfield guy, but he lives now, I believe, in Carlstadt. So he's saying, "Wildcats all day. Let's go, coach." So he's a converted fan.
Yeah.
I guess a two-part question for my second one because I wanted to get into obviously the big game this week. But what's your thoughts on the little how the NJIC does with the little semifinals and then the championship? Because I think that's pretty awesome. Like how they do that.
Yeah, it's genius. It really is. I mean, Charlie Voorhees is the architect of this whole thing, and he came up with it a couple years ago. And just matching, even if you don't win your division, if you come in second place, you're playing against the other second place team, and you have a chance to win. And back when we had PowerPoints and we needed to get wins with PowerPoints, it worked out very well to give those. If you're good enough and you win those games, you're going to get into the playoffs. I mean, obviously that's not happening this year, but the way it works out, it's genius. It really is genius.
Now, is this is the first time you guys are in this, that you guys got to this, or no?
No, this is the second time. 2016, we won our division.
Okay.
So this is our second time.
Diane Incognito saying, "Great job, Jack. Keep it going all the way."
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And then John Beelan's also saying, "Coach is going to be coaching my two kids in 2035." Ha 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 ha. So he's got two little ones, so he'll be getting them ready.
2035.
Very nice.
Love it.
So again, so now you get Park Ridge, 5-0. They're averaging 42 points per game. Semifinals of the NJIC championship pod. The game is in your building, correct? It's in Becton.
Yes.
Real quick, what's your quick thoughts about the game on Friday?
I think it's going to be a slugfest. I really do. They're very well coached. Coach Curry is a friend of mine. We randomly meet at stores around us, in a supermarket and stuff like that. He lives in Rutherford and I live in Woodridge. So, we randomly meet and, we'll sit there and talk even like during the summer, like when we didn't know what the season was going to bring us. We literally sat there for like a half hour, 45 minutes, just talking about what was going on. But he does a great job with those kids, and he's got a great staff. And you could just watch them. You watch them on film, and they're coached well. Defensively, we gotta just again do our jobs. Are they going to score some points? Yeah, they are. And like I said against Hasbrouck a couple weeks ago, I said I don't care how many points they score, as long as we score one more point than them, then I'll be happy with that.
That's a tough thing, Coach. You mentioned that, like, here you are, like, unscored upon, right? And you feel like that it's a tough thing when you almost are, not that you're saying, like you said it perfectly, like you don't care about the unscored upon, but when you start playing in your defensive units thinking like, oh my God, what if we get scored upon? Like, how are they going to react to that? But I'm sure, like you said, it's nice to hear you say, like, I don't care, like, no pressure that we'd have to be that unscored upon team. Yeah, right.
Listen, if it's a 3-0 win or a 50-49 win, I mean, it's you take what it is,
exactly.
And that's how it is. Thomas Brantler saying, "Way to go, Jack. Keep it up, brother. Let's go."
Nice.
All right, Coach, we have another little segment we'd like to do with you. We call Rapid Fire. So we throw some more, quick, more fun questions at you. So Kurt's going to start you off with, this is, again, a little more simple.
Okay.
I was listening to Rob's questions with the Mets, and I'm a diehard Met fan too.
So we should give you those questions.
All right, so you know what?
Right
So let's go right back at him. First off, how fired up are you? I mean, you got to be fired up to have Cohen as the owner.
Oh,
now.
100. I can't wait. I can't wait.
You know, I love his one comment today was like, he goes, we're going to get the meat and potatoes, but we're going to be going in the gourmet section. He said, so we'll be shopping there too. So.
Oh, amen to that. Amen.
Then, all right, so I'll put you on the spot then right now. He said he will be slightly disappointed if he doesn't bring a world championship within 3 to 5 years. What he said today. Do you think he gets that done?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Gotta
Two
love
for
it.
two.
Gotta love. Listen, you got the pitch. You got the pitching already. You know,
That's
the hard
great.
part
Gotta re-sign a couple guys. Gotta bring Stroman back, I think. But go and get Trevor Bauer. He wants to be here too. Let's go. Let's get him all.
Springer, Bauer, Riamuto. Go shopping. It's Christmas.
Let's play Yankee ball here.
That's
Like
it. That's it.
Let's
Don't
go.
get me started on
Hey,
that.
I told a lot of my Yankee friends on our show.
Mr.
I got a lot.
Valenti has a
I'm the only
problem
Met
with
fan of my
Yankee
people.
spending.
Spend it up.
All of a sudden, it's okay for the Mets.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my question. Carlstadt area, I know, like Peter DeCandy is saying, "Good, go coach." I like getting everybody's comments so they feel like they're involved in the show. So, all right. So we're in the Carlstadt, East Rutherford area. We want to get some good kind of food. Here's my question: Steve's Sizzling Steaks, Biggie's, or Name Your Place? What's your go-to one spot? If somebody says I need one place now, where am I going?
Everybody that's watching right now and everybody that's commenting would agree with what I'm going to say. And Biggie's is our spot.
Okay.
My
We were
wife,
there last Saturday.
my wife and I take our 3 kids there just about every Friday, not during football season. The owner, Steve Vernero, is I used to coach him when I coached at Bergen Tech for a couple years, and it's the best place around, definitely.
Okay.
We enjoy it as well. Yep. All right. This is one of my favorite questions for coaches. Coach, do you have any pregame superstitions or traditions that you have to do?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, I guess you could say. I always brush my teeth before the game. Right before I go out, I go and I run to the bathroom and I brush my teeth. It's been a little difficult this year because we haven't been really allowed in our locker room. But normal days, right before we go out for special teams and specials walk at 5:45, I run to the bathroom and I brush my teeth.
There you go.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Mark G saying Biggie's all the way, and we got a comment from Joe Krafasi saying Coach Maher and staff have made our community proud.
Oh, very
so
nice.
great comment.
Very nice.
All right, and my second one, we're putting you on the spot. Oh, you go. Okay, I'm sorry. You go.
because yours is a good ending one.
Okay.
That's why. So this one's real easy. Well, I think it is. Nike, Under Armour, or Adidas. I'm taking a glimpse at your shirt there.
We're an Adidas school sponsored school. You see there.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
There it is.
If I had to pick one, it would be Under Armour.
Okay.
Nice.
And here you're going to be put on the spot on this one. So here we go. If you win the NJIC Championship pod, question 1, right now on air, will you promise somehow some kind of locker room dance, something like Sean Payton did the other night in the Saints locker room? I don't know if you saw it, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. If we are fortunate enough to get there, and it won't be a locker room dance because we're not allowed in our locker room. But if we are fortunate enough to do it, then we have an uphill battle, no doubt about it. But if we are fortunate to win those 2 games, then absolutely there will be some kind of dance.
All right. Well, here's the second part of that question. What song would you want?
Wow.
You got to throw one out.
We have to slow it down and go maybe We're the Champions or something like that.
Okay. There you go.
Now we need video. Just
Oh, yeah. We'll put right to our promo. Melissa Dunn saying Biggie's is feeding our team this week.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
there you go.
Good.
So,
Good little shout out
there
to
it is.
Biggie's. Just
Great people there. Great people.
Very nice.
Coach, by the way, I don't know, but about 9:15 tonight, you have to stay on because you got to see we do weekly picks now every week, and we got to see who's we got in the Park Ridge Becton game.
Yep, you're on the
We
slate.
got to see. We got a couple of comments. Lisa McGrath saying "No Wagon Wheel" as the song. Thomas Kennedy Jr. saying Coach is a class act. And Thomas Brantner saying Elements, Danny T, LOL.
I like it. See,
So throwing the songs
I
out.
gotta say, you might rival the most comments, the fan club for a guest. So nice.
Oh, very nice.
Coach, is there for Friday night? Are they allowing fans, or is it like a limited amount?
It's limited. It's only 500 capacity. So that's another thing we all have to deal with as head coaches with the bracelets. You only got a certain amount per kid, and I have a wife and 3 kids. My brother, my sister, and my parents want to go. My sister wants to go. So it's you're scrambling for tickets.
Yeah.
But we've been doing it all season. So we'll deal with it on Friday as well.
No, I was wondering if all schools did this the same. That seems to be the general capacity limit that teams are adhering to. Is it like 250 for each team, or does each school do that on their own?
It depends on what administration gives us, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
Okay.
Whatever they give us, we make it work.
Okay.
Do you like the and last thing, what's your thoughts on? And obviously, listen, we know that's just the way it is right now in the world, but is it a little PO'd that there is going to be no state playoffs and stuff, especially the team you guys have this year and stuff like that?
Yeah, we were looking forward to it. And we would obviously like to have it, but the fact that we're playing football right now, we're still playing. And we've only played 4 games, obviously, but the fact that we still have a game scheduled for Friday for next Friday, it's okay. I mean, everybody's in the same boat, so we can't really complain about it.
Okay.
Great. Coach, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It was a pleasure to meet you, a pleasure to have you on. Best of luck to you and your team the remainder of the season.
Go get it done, Coach.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
No problem.
Have a good night. Good luck Friday.
Right. Good luck.
Go Cats.
That's it.
Like a Coach O. Go Tigers.
There you go.
All right, we have actually Coach Benacquista ready to join us in the waiting room as well from West Essex football. Should I let him in?
Yeah, a couple comments real quick.
Yeah.
Patrick Reed saying, great job, Coach. And Joe Krafasi saying, this is East Rutherford High School. And Becton Wildcat Football 100th anniversary. We did forget one thing.
Okay.
We did forget about the New York Giants.
Good evening, Coach Benacquista. How are you?
Hi, Jan. How are you? Hey,
Good.
Kurt.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for coming on. Good to see you again.
Same here. My pleasure.
I just want to introduce you to our audience. We are joined by Coach Chris Benacquista from the West Essex football program, off to a 3-0 start and competing in the North Jersey Super Football Conference. And Coach Benacquista, I'm just gonna give your brag about you a little bit. Current West Essex has 9 sectional titles, of which 2 you were at the helm in 2017 and 2011. So great program that you were running there. And welcome back, because we had you on early in the fall to kind of talk about the upcoming season. So thanks for joining us again.
That was the preseason. This is the fun part, though. Now you're into the season, So real quick, Coach, like Jen said, off to a 3-0 start. Congratulations so far. You guys are averaging about 27 points a game, giving up less than 10 a game. Can you talk a little bit about the offense and defense? You want to mention a couple players, or just overall offensively and defensively so far?
Yeah, I'll start with the defense, because our defense has been kind of the backbone of what we've done this year. Not that our offense isn't and can't be potent. It's just that it's tough to get into a rhythm when we've had all these disruptions and cancellations and all that. So as far as our defense goes, we've had standout play from, and I'll start with our seniors and really our captains, the 4 guys that have set the tone. Vincent Panzerino, middle linebacker. To me, he's one of the best in the state. He's a tackling machine. He's been playing with us at the varsity level since he's been a freshman.
I had
he's
Vincent as a student when he was in little. Sorry.
Well, there's 4 Panzerinos.
Yes.
He's 3 or 4.
Oh yeah.
They're a legacy family. He's going to go play baseball at Marist.
Oh, nice.
Chris Bell, who's one of the best 2-way players in the conference. I'm talking about the whole conference. He's another one of those inside linebacker guys that just plays sideline to sideline. Joe Lombardo is a lockdown corner. He's been doing a wonderful job. Teams do not challenge him. And then you have Jay Casano, who has, I believe, 8 sacks in 3 games. He's a terror on the defensive line. So those guys have led our defense and giving up very, very little points this year. And then you throw in underclassmen like Chris Corbo, Joe Visaggio, and it's a standout group.
Nice. And then
Okay.
and you, again, a couple of my former Fairfield students, I remember just them as little ones, to see them, go on and accomplish these things. It's so nice to hear. You kind of mentioned, Chris, your like the gaps in the season, the interruptions that you've had. So you start the season on October 2nd, right? Then you kind of get forced to take a hiatus. I was wondering if you could tell us, like, what were the challenges of kind of keeping your players motivated and hungry during that time period? And then even, like, when you finally do get back on the field against Montville, like, what did you think of your team's performance, and how were they? Did you feel they were? We had Gianna Durso on a few weeks ago. She described them as caged animals ready to get back out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could speak for every coach when I say how difficult and strange this whole thing is. My biggest concern, literally every day, is waking up to that dreaded email or phone call from someone saying that, you're shut down. And early on, I told the boys every day, because I try to be somewhat philosophical with them. I told them, listen, we have to appreciate this, because you never know when that bad luck's going to land on your program. And unfortunately for us, it was Friday, October 9th. I got the phone call from the nurse on the way to school saying that we had COVID within the school, and a couple on the football program. And so the whole school was shutting down. And so the challenge, of course, is, these guys put all this work in and all this time and effort, and all of a sudden, for 2 weeks, we're away from each other. I posted everyday workouts for them individually. They couldn't even get together now because of the issues that were happening with the virus. And a lot of them did. I mean, they would send me photographs and videos of them working out, and we'd have Zoom meetings a couple times a week just to watch film and prepare for Montville when we did play them. And so we came back to work. Actually, I was pretty surprised at how sharp we looked in practice. Now, when you fast forward to the game against Montville, we were not sharp. It was anything but, especially in the first half. We were sloppy. Now, I want to give a lot of credit to Montville. If anybody from there is listening, that team played tough. They are well coached. They're a solid team. But from our perspective, we just made a million mistakes that we probably wouldn't have made. We probably would have made half those if we had been in mid-season form. And then we buckled down a little bit, and we got tough, and we played a real tough second half, and we were able to edge the game out. But it's a huge challenge, because they're teenagers, and when you're not with them, you can give them all the workouts you want. But Jen, as a coach, if they're not with you, they're not doing it like you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
And,
of course.
Yeah, and the intensity and all the preparation is not there. So any coach that's going through it right now, I feel for them, and I just it's not easy.
No, it's funny. We do picks every week, right? So we'll.
Oh yeah, you got to watch in at 9:15, because
well.
you got the West Essex game is on the slate for our 4-panel pick people.
But we, we'll do the picks like tonight, and then by the time we get to the games later in the week, it's like this last week. I think we picked 14
games.
And
5
happened. Yeah. So it's crazy, But I can only imagine from your perspective, like you said, every day you have that anxious feeling about what's coming down the pike. My next question for you, Coach, is you're a former player at West Essex, and I want you just to talk a little bit about how it feels to be part of the program now from the coaching side, and to be leading a team that you once played for.
Yeah, I always joke, it's like I'm a lifer, and I try to get out, but they to make a corny Godfather quote, they pull me back in, right? It's I love it there. It's a wonderful place. The administration, the community. I love the passion. I mean, again, Jen, sports is huge there, and to be shut down for 2 weeks, it was devastating, not only to the players and the coaches, but the community as well. And it's very different to be on the coaching end of it. And for me now, it's like, I'm so used to being there, and I've coached it so long that I've kind of distanced myself from the playing days. But I will tell you that this year, this Saturday, we're going to Mars Hills, which was a huge rival of ours when I played. My senior year, we were 7-2, and one of our losses was Mars Hills. And believe me, I reminded these guys of this. I know it was eons ago. It was eons ago to them. Like, we were playing with leather helmets, according to them. But I tell them about the war stories of it, and I still get texts from all my friends the night before games and after a big win, and it's just it's a family thing, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. There's days where it does wear on you, but it's like any job. I mean, and I'm very fortunate to have been there for so long, and then had the success rate of our program to it. It's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, you mentioned that we, again, even, thinking back to when we were in high school, it sounds crazy with the way the conferences are now that we used to play all of those Morris County schools, in the Iron Hills Conference back in the day.
Yeah.
And I also tell them there was no internet back then, so if you didn't know an answer, you just didn't know the answer. But they
Totally different lives, totally different world.
We're dinosaurs, and we're not that old, Jen. We're really not.
We're not. I agree.
You're talking about Morris Hills. My next question is your next two games, Morris Hills and Parsippany Hills, are combined 8-1. What do you guys have to do in order to stay unbeaten in the next 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, the simple question is we have to play better than we've been playing. But we're going to work on Morris Hills. They're like an old school, run the ball down your throat. They're going to be physical. They do what they do and they do it well. So we have to be disciplined. A lot of the old coach talk, but it's true with this team. They're not going to try to trick you. They're going to play their game. They're going to run their wing T offense, and we have to be able to kind of be patient and disciplined with our reads, and then be physical with them too, because that's what's going to come down to. And from an offensive perspective, our offense is getting better. I don't want to shortchange that as well. We had our best game of the year this past weekend against Passaic Valley. Our quarterback, our junior Rob Lasher, really had a nice game throwing the ball. We try to spread the ball around to guys like Chris Corbo and Mike Girardi, our receivers. Our running backs, we have a stable of them. Chris Bell, Joe Visaggio, Giancarlo Farrow, who's a 5'6" fullback. He runs like he's 6'2". Joe Lombardo. We have a lot of guys that want to run the ball. And so anyway, to beat them, this might be one of the quickest games of the week because both teams like to run it, and it's going to be whoever can execute their game plan the best. And then Par Hills presents a different problem because they're more of a spread team. They're extreme. Both teams are extremely well coached. So we have to be on our game to beat both those teams. And I told the guys today that even though we don't have a lot of wins between the two of us, there's not too many undefeated teams left in the state. So to go to Morris Hills on Saturday, both teams undefeated. Yep. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Absolutely. You mentioned Par Hills coming up, and I noticed we're talking about rivalries a little bit too, and how they've probably changed a little bit since, again, from our high school days. But I feel like Parsippany Hills is one that kind of keeps coming up with West Essex. Would you think of them as a rival now?
Absolutely. They've had our number a little bit. Mm-hmm. We've had some wins against them, but they've beaten us in the playoffs a couple times, and obviously in the state final last year. They were a great team last year, and they deserve to win that game. But they're tough-minded. They're very similar to us in that their kids love to play football. They play real hard for Coach Albano, who's one of the best coaches in the state as far as I'm concerned. We have to be on our A game, and that's why we're playing. I mean, even though there's no state championship this year, and there's none, which is very disappointing to the guys, obviously. But to play good competition, to go out there every week and try to be at your best. And we're just trying to win every game, whether we play 3 or 6 or whatever. The goal is to win every game, and I also want to make memories for these kids too, because this is high school football. It's one of the most important times of their lives, and they deserve to get some experiences that they'll never forget.
Nice. Before we let you go, Coach, we do, as you know, a little rapid fire. You've already experienced it.
Yeah, we're going to change it up a little. Go a little different direction tonight for you.
We kept it quicker for you. We didn't want to torture you with the same questions, but...
All right, so if a player is saying, Coach B, who is he? What kind of style is he? If you had to name one NFL or college coach where you could say that you have a similar style to, who would that one person be?
Wow, that is it's not going to be quick. I have to think about this for a little bit. Wow. Please, audience, I am not comparing myself to this guy. I am not. I love Nick Saban. I use his sayings. I love the way his attention to detail. I aspire to be a millionth of the coach that he is. I don't know if I'm like him or not, but I try to be tough on my guys. I also try to give them compassion and understand that they're teenagers, hold them accountable, which is really important. And, they generally respond to that. I'm going to say him only because I admire his coaching so much. So.
Very good answer. My question kind of relates back to that player and coach aspect that we were talking about before. So I was wondering if you could share with us what your favorite West Essex football memory is from your playing days and maybe from your coaching days, one of each.
Well, okay, I'm gonna go with as far as playing days go. Um, we played our senior year, the fall of 1992. We played at the, I guess, Hanover Park in what was known as the Cosmo Cardone Cup game. We beat them, close game, 23-19, something like that. And I can't remember what I had for dinner last night, but I remember football scores. And the game was played in the mud at Hanover Park, and we stuck by. And those Hanover Park teams were great, and we became friendly with a lot of those guys after we graduated. And so we would always talk trash about it. But there's a couple photographs of my friends and I after the game, and we're full of our uniforms were brown, and we're holding the cup in our hands. So that always stood out to me because we played real well against a real good team. And as far as coaching goes, there's a million, and I was fortunate enough to coach for 10 years under Hall of Fame coach Dave Drozdok. We won 5 championships together with him as head coach. Anytime we went to Giant Stadium / MetLife was just an amazing experience. My first game as head coach, we played at Caldwell on a Saturday afternoon in 2011. That one stands out to me because that team was so focused on winning, and they were just a great group of guys. I have a couple of those guys on my staff right now. We'll celebrate the 10-year, amazingly enough, the 10-year anniversary of that group. So there's really too many to count, but those are just a couple of them. And I say all the time, I still really enjoy the job. My family gives me the blessing to do it. I have 3 kids, and they're busy and I'm busy, but they've afforded me the opportunity to do it. And so I'm a pretty lucky guy.
Awesome. Nice. And then I'll piggyback on one more question because we asked, I believe it was one of the assistants from Hawthorne last week, the same question. So you played, obviously you coached in big games as a player, as a coach. Where are you more nervous, player or as a coach?
1,000% as a coach. 1,000%.
Yeah.
It's not even close. As a player, now I was never like one of those real cocky, I'm 17-year-old invincible kids like some of my friends were. I was kind of more cerebral, and I would get nervous for games. But as a coach, forget it. I don't eat the day of. I can't sit down. It's one of those things where once the game starts, with the exception of calling plays, everything's out of your control.
Oh, that's what I say all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
The one that you remember, Coach Ronanello, who was our head coach when he played. He was, by the way, getting inducted to NJSIAA Hall of Fame this year. Well deserved. He used to say, I'm paraphrasing, but you're putting your fate as a coach in the hands of 15, 16, and 17-year-old boys. Who,
true. It's true. That's true. That is so true.
And a lot of times those boys have bad days, and their girlfriends break up with them, and their parents yell at them. And you can't control that. So it's a huge challenge. But at the same time, when you can offer them success, it's very rewarding too. So it's just high school sports is everything. I'm glad you guys do this because it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank
you. And we got one more comment from our guy, John Beelan. This was going back to the question I asked about what coach compare yourself to. He said, Coach, it's your time. Say who you want to compare yourself to. No, he did, John. He said Saban, so that's a good one. So
I'm gonna get heat for this from somebody, but
it's gonna be a headline tomorrow somewhere.
Yeah, well, sure.
It's the things that you admire in a coach, you want to see, you hope that you emulate, So those are. And
I'm one of a million. I think every coach, his success is everything. And like I said, I love his whole approach and how he's a thinker too. Which I think that you can't, as a coach, when you're in charge of everything around you and the fates of young men, and you have to think about things. You have to kind of think things through. And I try to do that as best I can on a regular basis. Doesn't always happen, but I try.
And you know what? I remember telling Jen, we were watching the Alabama-Georgia game, what was it, 2 weeks ago? And I remember at halftime, they interviewed him, and they said to him, what do you think? I think they gave up 24 points in the first half, so they say to him, what's the, you guys are giving up points. He went, they've been getting the ball to the running back. He said, we'll go on the board and we'll fix it. Second half, boom, 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 shuts him out, took care of it. And it's not like it's it's Georgia he's shutting out, he took care of it. So.
That's what we try to do. It's not always that. It's not always easy as he makes it look.
But it's just when you watch it, he said he'll take care of it. He'll go on the board. Went on the board.
I have great assistants too. I want to make a quick shout out to Tim Glenn, who is our defensive coordinator, and you remember Mr. Glenn.
Of course, yeah.
He was my coach in high school.
Yeah.
He's been there forever. He's a unbelievable coach, and the rest of my staff are made a compromise of guys that I coached, and guys that I've been working with for a long time. And you cannot be even remotely successful without having an awesome staff. And I'm blessed with that. So I always tell my players, I can't do much, but one thing I could do is I could hire good coaches. And I've done that. I'll brag about that. I've hired great coaches.
Don't sell yourself short. You do a phenomenal job
you do,
there.
Coach.
They're very, very lucky to have you. So, but Coach, thank you so much for coming on. It was always good to see you, just as an old classmate. And best of luck to you in your final 2 games. We'll definitely be following.
Yep. And hey, be sure. Listen, 20 minutes. We'll be making the pick. The Morris Hills West Essex pick. Panel of 4. Jen and I, 2 of our other guys. So. We'll see what the verdict. If they're going West Essex.
Spoiler alert! I'm going. With
yeah, I'll be checking. I hope I know where Jen's going with
exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
Coach, thank you, Coach. Make sure you come back, please.
Yes,
good luck.
Got it.
Good to
Anytime.
see you. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
All right.
Okay. I want to read a couple more comments.
Okay.
I want to go back a little because we had some guys who want to cut Coach off. Melinda Barbo, getting back to the Becton. Becton, best football team in East Rutherford. Our guy, Vinny Troncone. We saw Vinny at Biggie's.
Yes, we did.
He's checking in. What's
yeah.
up, Kurt? He wants to talk about Little Giants. And our guy, Mark, saying hello, everyone. And Kurt, we're in the championship 2 weeks. We need to come down and
nice.
watch. We definitely have to.
Good
And
luck.
Coach Breslin is all over you. I don't know about Jenny. Be careful, Coach. Because she jumped off the Ramapo bandwagon quick. And she's trying to get back on.
Oh, stop.
But you know what? Coach Breslin and I are not allowing it to happen. We're not allowing it to happen. I also do want to mention, getting back to Coach Maher, we heard through the grapevine, we didn't mention this in the interview, about being New York Giant Coach of the Week. So if that is true, congratulations. We have to verify that.
We did. We saw somebody.
We got late notice on that.
I was going to say somebody shared our post, and it was shared in there. So we did want to not neglect to mention it, but we did not, become privy to that information until then. So absolutely. We do have. We're just going to give another second because we do have some of our Millburn tennis players ready in the waiting room, but I just want to wait on Coach Wick. So we'll just give him another moment to come in, and then we'll get started in congratulating them on the amazing season that they have had. Really quickly, a reminder. I don't know if we want to touch on this now while we're kind of waiting for Coach Wick. That Kenny in Maryland did have a rivalry question for you to rank the football rivalries.
All right.
So
are you giving this to me now, or?
I was gonna say yeah.
Okay.
So I'll preview them with you if we don't get to them.
Okay.
Coach
Let me
Wick
write them
pops
down
in.
and I'll think about it. I'll do that.
Alrighty. So we have Garfield Lodi is one of the rivalries.
Okay.
Ramapo Wayne Hills.
All right.
Hackensack and Teaneck.
Okay.
Wayne Hills makes it again with Wayne Valley. And then Clifton Passaic.
Clifton Passaic.
So those are.
All right, let me. We'll talk a little tennis, and then we'll give me a couple of minutes.
Well, we're waiting for Coach, so we have.
All right, do you want me to get to it?
Yeah, let's hash it out a
All
little
right,
bit.
I'm gonna go hands down Ramapo Wayne Hills. I'm sorry, I've never seen anything like it. Listen, I've played in
You've
Garfield
lived it.
Lodi games, but listen, I remember them saying you're gonna like experience. It was like, I'm telling you, tailgating, like it was crazy. Okay, just absolutely crazy. I'm gonna go Wayne Hills, Wayne Valley, to be honest with you, because going to that game, like I said, it was a state semifinal game. I mean, everybody, those are your rivals. You're probably playing with half those guys growing up, and now you're playing against them, especially in a playoff format to get to a state championship. So I'm going to go Ramapo, Wayne Hills. I'll go Wayne Hills, Wayne Valley. I'm going to go, I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about the Hackensack Teaneck, so, I'm going to put probably Garfield Lodi. I would say Clifton Passaic back in the day was probably a lot bigger, but I think the Passaic's been down. So I would go Ramapo, Wayne Hills, Wayne Valley, Garfield Lodi, Hackensack, Teaneck, Clifton Passaic. But the Wayne Hills Ramapo, I'm definitely number one.
Another good question.
Oh, great question for
Kenny.
Kenny.
Giving us.
Do you have any? I mean, you've seen. I don't know if you ever. We went to a Garfield Lodi. We went last year to see Coach Santa Cruz.
Well, again, knowing the Ramapo Wayne Hills rivalry, even before knowing you as having experienced it, that was what I would have put up, and I would have put Wayne Hills Wayne Valley second. Again, just being not so far away, and growing up in the West Essex area, and knowing that crosstown rivalry, and I feel like more recently, especially, like it's kind of resurfaced with the two teams,
And Coach Breslin saying, no doubt, both of those are big rivals. Hackensack, Teaneck, they played Thanksgiving Day for a long time.
I was gonna say, I feel like maybe the Clifton Passaic similar was like you mentioned, maybe a little longer ago, was a bigger rivalry.
Yeah.
When those Thanksgiving
Back
Day
in the
games,
day, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, a lot of those have, maybe like not. Other ones have taken more precedence, I would say. Why don't we let our players in?
Absolutely.
And we'll welcome them. And if Coach Wick is able to join us, we will admit him as soon as he is with us as well. Oh, he is in there. So Coach Wick is able to join us. We will admit him. Maybe somebody else's name was on there. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Hi. Welcome back. You know what? I apologize.
How are you guys?
I saw the name Amanda on Coach Wick, and I thought it was a player. So I apologize about that. I was thinking we were waiting on Coach. So welcome back, guys. It's so good to see you, and congratulations on your championship season.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
So I'd like to introduce to our audience, we have Millburn Girls Tennis. We have Coach Wick with us and 3 of his players. Please forgive me, guys, if I mispronounce anybody's name. You can definitely correct me. We have Ritika Mishra, Jessie Reevman, and Anna Banzel. Did I say that correctly? All right, nice. To give a little history to our audience who maybe didn't join us last time, to say that we have a dynasty in our presence would be an understatement. So it's a pleasure to have you. A little recap. In the past decade, the program has gone 240 wins and 7 losses with 7 Tournament of Champion titles. This year, obviously, a shortened season. But you guys did manage to go 8-0, of course. And correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, I don't want to misquote what we called the bracket this year. I believe it was Northeast B Group 3 champs. Is that correct?
That's a good question. They went by regions. It's all new. It's Northeast Regional Champions.
Okay.
So Group 3 regional champions. Is what it turns out to be. It's almost like a sectional champion. It's just that the sections changed this year because I'm not sure if you know, they actually went with the Board of Health regions for the state. Mm-hmm. They had to break it up for the regions that way in case there was an outbreak or something. Okay. So we played teams that we don't normally play in a section. We normally play them in the group semifinals or finals.
Okay. Nice.
Coach, I'll start. Another year, another championship. 8-0. Can you just do a quick overview of the season? Like you said, you only went to 8 games today, but this year. But if you want to just do a quick overview of the season.
Well, I'm glad you told me my record because I had no idea what our record was. I didn't know. We could have been 3-0. We could have been 12-0. I didn't know how many matches we played. Really doesn't matter to us. We love being out there together, practicing or playing matches. Quick overview of the season. We didn't know if the season was ever going to start. It was delayed by a month. And the girls were just amazing. We have 4 captains. Paulina Fioli's not with us right now. She's actually practicing or coming home from practice. But the 4 captains were awesome. They knew it was going to be difficult. We had 2 weeks to get challenge matches in, and typically we have 5 weeks to get them in. That would be with double sessions or whatnot. And the entire team was just really understanding, very flexible, and every second mattered out there on the practice court, and every second mattered for more than one reason, not only for the challenge matches and getting a lineup, but at any moment this season could have ended. So we wanted to make sure we were all enjoying each other's company and friendship and throughout and just growing together and bonding. So and once the matches started, it was a lot of fun. We were tested. We tested ourselves. We were tested by our opponents. And the girls always, handle pressure so well. I don't know if that's because we do something extra special at practice, or if they're just they have ice running through their veins. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask them. So we were also fortunate. We won the conference in there. We played our normal conference. We were 5-0 there. I think we were 5-0 there. I don't even know who's in our conference. I know very good teams are there. I'm just not sure from year to year which ones are in the conference because they bounce back and forth a little bit. So anyway.
Nice. I know, girls, my question is kind of directed to you guys, and Coach, you kind of hit upon it a little bit too. If I'm not mistaken, again, I'm getting my time frame. Like, you start at the beginning of October, maybe around October 2nd, and boom, you're done, November 3rd, around there. And it's just like in the blink of an eye. But here you are, you're playing Tenafly, like you said, maybe an opponent you're not used to really seeing at that point, and, the score's 3-2. Can you guys kind of give me, each of you, we'll start with Ritika, kind of your perspective of that final match. It's going to be the final one of the season. Was it close throughout? Were you nervous at any point that about the outcome?
Yeah, it was super close. Usually, I think we were just because Tenafly had an amazing first singles, and even the girl who I played in second was so good, and we were tested at one point we had lost first, second was down, I was down, and third was down, and it was really challenging, but I feel we kept lifting each other up. And actually the girl who played third we were playing twins, so it was we were kind of cheering each other on and watching each other and learning from each other. And I think that it was really close because they were such a good team, and it was just it was really relieving to have won it.
Oh, I'm sure. How about you, Jessie?
Yeah, so if I'm being honest, that last match, it was really bittersweet. I'm really excited that we were able to come out of the season as champions, but at the same time, I've been playing tennis for the Millburn girls team since my freshman year. So watching it come to an end in that last match, I kind of teared up at the end of it, and I realized that my high school tennis career was over. And then the match itself, my partner and I think we did play a pretty good match. Our second set, we kind of broke down a little, and after winning the first set, we lost the second. But then we were able to pull ourselves back together and win the third set. So it was really nice to go out with a win too.
Well, of course, I completely understand that bittersweet feeling, of course. How about you, Anna?
So it was, my reaction was similar to Jessie's. At the end of my match, I honestly did start crying on the court. I had to walk off, take a moment. It was a very weird end to a short season. It was different than what we were normally used to. We did our normal celebration. We went and got ice cream as a team, but it was something whereas normally we'd spend so much more time with these people that I was so happy I was able to get close with everyone, but I miss having months of seeing the same people over and over again after school. But at the same time, my match, I don't know, my partner and I, we were able to end our match pretty quickly. So it was a lot of me, after we won our point, it was a lot of me pacing around, watching other people and just praying and cheering. I don't know how coaches do it. I kept asking them, how do you do this every day? I'm breaking down right now. But I was so relieved when everyone managed to win. It was a really great feeling to go out on a high note. And I'm so happy that we were able to end with a win and end our senior seasons.
I want to piggyback off of that question because like you said, so you won your match, and like you're saying, now you have time to watch everybody else in a real close match. Are you more nervous playing, or are you more nervous watching, where you really have no effect on that now?
I'm so nervous watching. I'm so nervous watching. I have to watch a point, then I step away and I go to a different court. And then if that court starts doing well, then I walk away and go to a different one. And then I can't handle watching tennis. I'm fine playing tennis because if I can feel like I can change something.
Right. You have a helpless feeling you can't do anything,
And it's so hard to watch because sometimes you're like, I know what they're doing wrong and I wish I could help them do it better. But then you're like, if I was on the court, I know what I'm doing wrong too. It's a whole I just can't watch my friends play tennis.
So now you guys all seniors, I'm sorry. Are you
Yeah, we're the 3 of the 4 senior captains.
okay, so now my next question, you guys can go one by one. Jen, you'll go to who you asked, and then we'll ask Coach the last question.
Okay.
But if right now you're talking to either an underclassman or, an 8th grader going into high school that's going to play Millburn tennis, what would you say? You have like 30 seconds to tell somebody about Millburn tennis, what to expect, or just anything. Like I said, anything to either an underclassman or somebody that's going to be going to the Millburn tennis program.
I guess I can go first. I think one of the biggest things I would say is make sure to form a good relationship with your teammates and kind of cherish your time on the team, especially putting winning and your position on the team to the side. Like my senior year was the first year that I did start on the team, and my past 2 years on varsity, I wasn't a starter, but I still had great relationships with everyone on the team, and I looked forward to practice and our games every day. So that's one of the reasons why I'm most sad about the season ending, just the fact that I'm going to be leaving our underclassmen and the teammates who I've spent so many years with. So yeah, it's really the personal relationships that I think are the most important.
Okay.
How about you, Ratika?
Yeah, I would go along with what Jesse was saying. I would say that like it's really important to have a good relationship with your teammates because like you're stuck with them. Like you can't change who you have, and like you can only build each other up. And also like if I was to say, I'd say to put in a lot of dedication because tennis, like, you need to keep working at it because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we hold ourselves to a really high standard, and it's really competitive even with the team. And then like once the tryouts are over, we take that competitiveness like to the courts, and like you just really have to be like willing to like just really focus on tennis and like put everything out there.
Great advice. And Anna, how about you?
I actually wrote one of my college essays about tennis. So I was working on it today, so I'm just going to like kind of summarize what I said there. But it's when you start trying out for Millburn tennis, it's very intimidating. You go there, you see all the wins, and you're just like in shock. But you have to understand, like at the core, the team is a family, it's a community, and like it's always going to be there for you through wins and losses. And that's just something that's so important as a freshman to realize. You don't have to have like the pressure of like always winning. You can go through losses, you can go through wins, and you can talk to your teammates about anything, and they're going to support you. And it's honestly like one of the best teams to be a part of. So like Jesse said, cherish every moment on the team.
Very nice. And Coach, just hearing your players speak, you've done such a nice job instilling that in them as well. So my question to you is, this was a season like no other. So what do you hope that your players kind of took away from this unusual 2020 season?
Well, I want them to take away the same thing no matter what season it is, that it's important to make the most of your opportunities and to cherish the people you're around. I think last year's school year really brought that home for them, and understanding that the boys didn't have a season last year. They had a week and then it ended. And, I preached that throughout. I just reminded the girls that any moment the season could be over. And that's not something we can control if it's outside of what we are doing. It's something we can control to make sure we're being safe and practicing the right safety measures. But it's so important to cherish the opportunities you have and not waste them, and to really get to know each other and spend time. As the girls said, it's wonderful. We win most of the time, yes, we do that, but we never sit here and preach wins or losses. They never get in trouble for losing. They never get an extra praise for winning. What they do is they go out there and they compete the best they can. And if they didn't do that, then they would hear from me, whether they won or lost. If they didn't go out there and give it their all at practice and in the match and for each other, then they would hear it from me. But honestly, they rarely ever hear anything from me in the negative aspect, because they're just a pleasure to be around and be with on all levels, from the freshmen all the way up to the seniors. There is no freshman, there is no senior. They're just a team together. And that's something that I think a lot of other teams don't understand. There's the captains will carry the coolers, not the freshmen. Everyone
That's
will carry
awesome.
the coolers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but I guess just cherish your opportunities and your moments together and make the most of them is the most important thing.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Coach and girls. It was so nice to see you guys again
Yep.
from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. And best of luck to you guys.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you very much for bringing more awareness to our sport and all of high school sports. It's wonderful to do that. So
It's
thank you.
our
Absolutely.
pleasure. We're two former high school coaches, and that is one of our basis for the show. We like to see the kids get the recognition. They work
Yep.
hard. Student
All
athletes.
sports.
Yep. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, congrats, girls, congrats.
Yes. Congratulations.
Coach, we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Good night,
Take care.
guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very nice.
So, what a great program.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Awesome
Absolutely.
program. He's the boys coach also, correct?
I believe so. I think so.
We'll get him on for
Yeah.
the
We'll
spring
see if we'll
season,
win the spring.
If we have spring, we'll get him on. All right, Hoopsie, so what do you got? We're doing a little overtime tonight. It's 9:13.
It is. We got a couple more things
Do you have
to
a little
do.
field hockey report tonight, or you don't?
I do have a little bit. I really quickly, couple of things, right?
Okay.
So given again, it's kind of interesting. We have our football coaches. They're heading into their final 2 weeks of the games they've been given, and girls tennis, as we just saw,
I'm
already
disappointed
finished.
in you now, Hoops.
You're disappointed in me? Did you
Yeah,
say?
we don't have a field hockey game on the picks.
Oh, I know.
Let's
we
go.
should. Well, you know what? There's so many things changing. It's
let's
hard
get
to
going.
say. Let me get to my field hockey pick. So again, Union County tournament was the only county tournament that was happening in the state, if I'm not mistaken. And it's kind of hard to judge kind of what's happening. I didn't see a result from a semifinal game, but I do see that the finals is listed as Oak Knoll versus Kent Place. So with the date kind of to be determined, because the tournament was supposed to end October 29th, and they're still, playing the semifinal rounds. But I'll use this term loosely, state tournament brackets have been released. So we have a Northwest A, a Northwest B, a Northwest C, so 3 Northwest divisions, and then a Northeast A division, which I'll just kind of highlight who's got the top seeds there from our area. Northwest A, I've been talking about Pequannock all season long. They are the 1 seed. I do think that they are definitely the favorite in that bracket. I do think they might be challenged by the number 3 Newton seed. They kind of come into contact now with some of those more further Sussex County teams that have a little different style of play. Northwest B, the 1 seed is Vernon, but I think that team I picked in Passaic County last year, West Milford, who got off to a little rough start but has rebounded to 10-4. Just by the sheer volume of games, you don't see a lot of teams having played 14 games at this point in the season. And Mo Beard, who's, again, still 3-0. I don't know if they're on a little hiatus, but that's possibly emerging from the Northwest B bracket. Northwest C, interesting. Warren Hills, which is generally a more central team, kind of got thrown into that bracket. So I feel badly for the teams in the Northwest that are thrown in there, because Warren Hills is one of the best teams in the state. They're I think they'll emerge from there victorious. They're undefeated. But I believe that Wayne Valley is in that bracket, who I've been highly touting all season long, and that'll be a great test for them if they do get to the finals, to kind of how they measure up against a very strong Warren Hills program. In Northeast A is where we have West Essex, who I think is honestly just going to steamroll through the competition in that bracket. Ramsey might give them a little run for the money at the 4 seed, and possibly Montclair, but I really don't think West Essex is going to have a problem with their competition there. And interestingly enough, Union County plays in Essex. They play in that same Union-Essex conference, but Oak Knoll got put into the Central East Division, so the E bracket there. So again, I feel sorry for those teams there. They're going to pull Oak Knoll. So kind of the regions, it's interesting. I always feel like even in the state tournament, sometimes you're a little surprised on that central line, who kind of gets put north or central.
Oh, just by the where they're classifying them, you're saying, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of just a little rundown of what the state.
You know what? I'm going to give
like.
you some homework.
Oh, real quick before you do that. Another interesting thing about how the state tournament is going: we have 4 games. You start on Tuesday the 14th. Saturday the 14th. If you win, you play Tuesday. If you win, you play Thursday. And if you win, your final game is either that Saturday or Sunday.
Wow.
So it's like boom, boom, boom. So I think fitness is going to be, because you're going game day on, day off, day on, day off. So I think, physical conditioning is going to be, big. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to give you a little. By the way, Rob Neely's saying, is there really a Central Jersey?
Good question.
I mean, it's true.
Good question.
But I'm going to give you homework because you just threw a lot of stuff out.
Okay.
All we watch in college football, top 4, top 6. Next week, we debut Jenny's top 6.
Are we doing region?
No,
What are we
top
doing?
6 in the top 6 in the state.
Okay.
1 through 6, bang them out.
Top 6. I'm
Top
making myself
6.
a note.
There
Got
you
it.
go. By the way, Coach Breslin also was saying, getting back to the rivalry, Becton Heights also a big rivalry.
Okay.
So it is. All right, 9:17. You know what that means?
Time for our picks.
Time for our picks. Here is the board from last week. You want to do a quick
I'll
rundown?
do a real quick rundown. As we mentioned, we had Coach Benacquista on from West Essex. We picked 13 football, 1 soccer. So we had a total of 14 games, and 6 of them got played. So we had Ramsey defeating Verona, 34-27. Riverdale defeating Northern Highlands, 7-3. St. Joe's defeating Bosco, 34-14. We had Park Ridge beating Glen Rock 44-14. And our last football game was Pompton Lakes defeating Butler 27-18. And we put our first girls soccer team.
Yes, we did.
We hosted Kearney Girls Soccer. They were awesome guests.
By the way, breaking news, they will be back next
week.
Tuesday
So excited
night.
to have
They
them
will
again.
be back.
Yep. And undefeated 6-0 Kearney at undefeated 7-0-1 Lyndhurst. Kearney victorious 2-0, remaining undefeated. So we'll be excited to talk to them next week as well again.
Absolutely.
So,
John Beelan saying, yeah, I would consider Jackson Howell like Central now. He's acting like he's a walking GPS. And he wants last week's standings.
Oh, well.
Let's skip the standings. Let's
No,
skip
of
the
course.
standings.
Kurt wants to skip the standings, and Kenny and Beelan will appreciate this one because he finished the worst this week at 3-3. Kenny was 4-2. Beelan was 5-1, and I ran the table at 6-0 this week.
We're gonna see this week.
After 2 consecutive weeks dropping.
By the way, we're getting a comment from a Tracy Ann saying, "Woohoo,
Oh,
Pompton
nice.
Lakes."
Hi, Tracy.
Well, you
I
know
work
what?
With Tracy.
Well, Tracy better hold on
Yeah.
because Tracy,
The pick
the
is coming.
semifinal game is coming. Waldwick
Love
and
it.
Pompton.
Love it.
All right, so let's start. We got tons of games.
Let me get my picks here. Okay.
Let's rock.
All right. Our first one on the board is 1-3 Don Bosco at 4-0 Bergen Catholic. All right. I'm going to give you my pick. Then I'll do Kenny and Beelan. I'm picking Bergen Catholic. Kenny is saying that Bergen Catholic will win as well, 33-27. But he's saying that they escape a scare.
Ooh, okay.
And Beelan has a little more lopsided victory with Bergen Catholic as well, 24-10.
So Beelan's also going with the home. All right, I'll make this one very simple. Just way too much offense for Coach Campanelli and the BC boys. I think Bergen Catholic puts it on them. I'm going 37 Bergen Catholic, 13 Don Bosco. By the way, I made my first error of the day. It is not the St. Joe's. It is the Don Bosco logo.
Okay.
So I have to correct that. I have to correct it. And I got to make my official pick, which is Bergen Catholic.
All right.
By the way, Neely's saying, hope they both lose. Go St. Joe's. He is a St. Joe's graduate. So
Oh, that's funny. Which St. Joe's?
Montvale.
Okay, well, that's up
And
next.
that's up next.
That is our next one. We have 4-2 St. Joe's of Montvale at 2-2 DePaul. I am picking St. Joe's. Kenny has St. Joe's 34-13. Beelan has St. Joe's 31-7.
Okay, and that leaves me. I am also going to take St. Joe's, but Rob Neely, you're going to love this comment because my comment for this one is St. Joe says, don't forget about us for number 1 in the state. They wish they could redo these playoffs and have another shot at Bergen Catholic and St. Peter's, but they're just too good for DePaul. I'm going 31-13 St. Joe's over DePaul. Neely's picking losses for both Campanelli brothers, so he's taking Bergen Catholic he's taking Bosco to upset them. No, one of them's going to have it. It ain't going to be Bergen Catholic, though. That's my prediction.
All right, our next game on the board, excuse me, is 5-0 Del Barton at 2-3 St. Joe's Metuchen. I am picking Del Barton to stay undefeated. Kenny's picking Del Barton 27-12, and his comment on this game is that Del Barton is his number 1 team in the state.
Woo! I hope, he better hope for sake they're not listening in Oradell or Hudson County area over there.
Beelan also has Del Barton by a score of 28-10.
28-10. Sneaky game for Del Barton. Sneaky. Why? Because guess what they got next? Bergen Catholic. But you know what? They squeak by 24. Del Barton 24. St. Joe's Metuchen 20. But close. Don't look ahead. Close.
The look-ahead game.
The look-ahead game.
Have we all agreed so far?
We have all agreed. This is...
All right, our next game
It'll switch.
is 4-0 Clifton at 4-2 East Orange. I'm sticking with our friends at Clifton, remaining undefeated as well. Kenny is picking Clifton as well by a score of 20-13. And Mr. Beelan is also picking Clifton 34-17.
I can't be the only one to go against the undefeated Clifton Mustangs. I don't have my Clifton. No, my notes on there. Oh, there it is. Here you go, Coach Breslin. East Orange. Last week you had Ramapo. Now this week you got to deal with Clifton. But it's going to be a good one. Okay, it's going to be a good one. But Clifton's combination of speed and power keeps them unbeaten. 27-17 Clifton over East Orange.
Okay, our next.
So right
game,
now we're still everybody.
Yep, still all the same right now. I think this is where we might start to get a little division on this one. We've got 2-4 Montclair at 5-0 Nutley. I'm picking Montclair. I'm gonna go with Montclair. I'm gonna not be deceived by the record. I think they play a little tougher schedule.
So you're going with a little upset here,
I am.
Hoopsie.
I think so.
Yeah.
So let's see. Kenny's got Nutley 21-6 over Montclair, and Beelan's got Nutley 34-27 over Montclair.
All right. I'm also going to go with the boys. I am going to go away from you and go Nutley. My notes are going to be, again, like you said, Montclair has lost to 4 good teams. Okay. I think it's a toss-up. So be careful, Nutley. It's not no 2-4, and they're not a good team, Montclair. But I think Nutley gets them late. I'm going to go Nutley 20, Montclair 17.
Oh, all right. Close one. All righty. Our next game is 5-0 Wayne and Hills.
Wayne Hills
at 2-2 Northern Highlands. I'm going with Wayne Hills to remain undefeated. Kenny is picking Northern Highlands, as he said it, in a shocker.
In a
caps.
shocker.
Yeah.
Kenny's going with the upset,
He's
huh?
got Northern Highlands 21, Wayne Hills 19. And Beelan has Wayne Hills 24, Northern Highlands 19. So.
All right. I am going to go nearly saying sound like it's past Hoops' bedtime with the Wayne and Hills. Listen, hey, this is going to be a real great game. Both teams, Northern Highlands, again, won the sectional last year, and obviously Wayne Hills is Wayne Hills. But I can't do it. I can't go against them. Almost put them against them. But listen, defense beats offense. It's proven. Wayne Hills' defense beats Northern Highlands' offense. Hills stays perfect. Wayne Hills 13. Northern Highlands 6 in a defensive battle. Coach Breslin saying, come on, Jenny, we want Wayne Hills to stay undefeated.
We would have been picking Ramapo, but they are not playing Westside.
Well, no.
No.
You would have been picking Ramapo.
Time out. I meant...
See that, Coach Breslin? Trying to jump on this bandwagon.
Don't try to misinterpret what I was saying. What I meant was our panel would have been picking the Ramapo game. Relax, there, killer. And just for the record, I did have Ramapo. So, Coach Breslin, am I back in your good graces yet?
No. Nope.
All right. Our next game is 2-3 Mendham at 3-3 Passaic Valley. I know we have been talking about Passaic Valley, one of our faves. I think they get back on track this week. Tough Mendham opponent, but I'm picking PV. Kenny's got a close one here. He's actually picking Mendham 14-12, and Beelan is picking Passaic Valley 24-20.
All right. My notes. Listen, Mendham's definitely better than their 2-3 record. But I'm going this game with PV, and I think they're going to play lights out defense. All right. They get back on track. They lost 3 in a row. Couple tough losses. One was last to Coach B's West Essex.
Yeah.
But you know what? They bounced back. I'm going 22-14. I'm going with my boys. PV, don't let me down. I need this win. PV 22-14.
All right, our next game is 3-0 West Essex at 4-0 Morris Hills. As Coach Benacquista mentioned, 2 of the very few, remaining undefeated teams in the state, right? So, I'm going with my alma mater. I'm going with Coach Benacquista and the West Essex Knights. Let's see. Kenny is picking Morris Hills in a big win, 27-13.
Okay.
And Mr. Beelan also has Morris Hills, but in a much closer contest, 27-25.
What is wrong with these two guys? Seriously. What is wrong? You know what?
Wait. I'm going to say something because I'm going to defend them. It's I'm on the reverse. Like, you guys are Bergen County guys. Like, maybe they don't know the Essex County, like the athletic school that West Essex is.
You know what? Listen, they joined in this group chat, and I don't know what they're doing on the side. They're working some kind of deal. But listen, no way. No way. I swear to God, I wrote these notes before we had Coach B on tonight. All right? Listen, 2 undefeated teams. But he just talked about the mental toughness of his team, what they have to do, how they, missed games, came back and did that. I'm calling it now. You could read it. I swear to God, Coach B, I did not put this down. They play their best game of the year so far. They shut down the Wing T. West Essex 30, Morris Hills 14. Right. I didn't do it now, right? I had it all night long. Yep. 30-14, West Essex. Big.
All right, our next matchup is 4-2 Glen Rock at 4-2 Garfield. This is always tough.
By the way, Beelan's saying great minds think alike, Kurt. Step your game up.
Big fan of Coach Santa Croce over at Garfield. I just feel like they're struggling a little bit offensively. So I'm going to go with Glen Rock as my pick in that one. Kenny has Garfield connects on a 2-point conversion to win the game. He has Garfield 15 and Glen Rock 14. Mr. Beelan's pick is Glen Rock 16 and Garfield 10.
So, I'm sorry, Beelan's
is going with Glen Rock.
Okay, when Beelan goes against Coach Santa Croce, that's when I think you got to go with him. But you know what? I agree. Listen, Glen Rock, impressive wins. They beat Coach Pissaro's Hawthorne team, who we had, very impressive Hawthorne team. Just lost a close one to Pompton Lakes. Again, like you said, Garfield's offense is just so disappointing in these games. What'd they score? 8 against Morris Catholic last week in an upset. Morris Catholic beat them. Listen, I think the offense is going to hurt them again. I'm going to go with Beelan and you. But when Beelan goes against Garfield, I got to go against Garfield. So, you know what? I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to take Glen Rock. I'm going to go 21-6 Glen Rock over Garfield.
Okay.
By the way, Beelan's saying Hoops is holding a gun under the table, picking a wish, but no.
No, he can pick whoever he wants.
And then Kenny's saying, I better pick West Essex or I'll be sleeping in the studio.
In the studio.
That's not true, right, Hoops?
Not at all. No.
Not at all.
He gets to make his own choices.
That's it.
All right. Our next choice is 1-4 Saddlebrook at 2-4 Lyndhurst. I feel like, Lyndhurst got off, after their tremendous season last year, got off to a little rough start, but I feel like they're back on track, getting things going. I'm going to pick them to get their 3rd win this season, this week. So I'm going with Lyndhurst. We have Kenny picking Lyndhurst big, 27-7, and we have Beelan picking Lyndhurst as well, 21-14.
Okay, and listen, my comment's very simple. Lyndhurst and Coach Tuero. Big win last week. Calling it now. They win out. They get to 4-4, get to 500, win win their last 3 going into next year. I'm going Lyndhurst big, 32. Coach O'Terry gets some points on the board again. 32. Castagnetti shuts him down. Saddlebrook 7. Lyndhurst 32. Saddlebrook 7.
All right, and our next game is 3-1 Hawthorne at 4-1 MKA. I feel like the MKA, record is a little, I don't want to say misleading, but I just, again, feel like Hawthorne maybe has a little tougher opponents, so I'm going with Hawthorne.
Okay.
Kenny, Hawthorne as well, 27-20. And Beelan's actually picking MKA, 24, Hawthorne, 19.
All right. I'm going to go, I'll give my analysis real quick. Head coach, again, we had head coach Passaro, and I believe it was Coach G last week.
Last week, yeah.
I think they're going to get physical with MKA. I think Hawthorne gets the win. Again, I think low scoring. They'll play. They've played Glenrock tough. They've played, Pompton Lakes. They beat Pompton Lakes. The only team to beat Pompton Lakes. So, again, I think it's a physical game. They do it defensively. I'm going to go Hawthorne 14, MKA 6.
Okay. Our next game is 0-2 Ridgefield at 2-1 Elmwood Park. What's interesting, I'm just looking at some of these. You have Lyndhurst, who's played 6 games, and these two teams, Ridgefield's only played 2. It's just it's so interesting to see the different ways seasons have gone. I'm going Elmwood Park. I think they're gonna get their 3rd win this week. We had Elmwood Park coach on as well a couple of weeks ago. Yep.
By the way, I believe I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's his birthday today. So Coach Mulligan,
if he's watching,
happy birthday.
And hopefully you get a win.
I know it was one of the days because I know I saw it on Facebook. So I believe it's today.
All right. Kenny has Elmwood Park as well, winning big, shutting out Ridgefield 28-0. And Kenny, Beelan has a very similar score, 28-2.
28-2.
Elmwood Park.
Listen, I'm on the bandwagon with you guys. I'm also going to go Elmwood Park, and my comment's very simple. Remember when they couldn't win? Right. Now they can't lose. I'm going 31-0. Elmwood Park big. All right, 31-0.
All right, and now we're getting into the NJIC Championship Pod. It's so nice that these guys have something in, that conference does this year especially, because you're losing in that state tournament, but you have, you feel like you're playing for a championship, We have 5, these are good games. We have 5-0 Park Ridge at 4-0 Becton.
Game of the week.
Yeah.
I'm calling it game of the week, no doubt.
And not just because Coach was our guest this evening, I'm picking Becton to be victorious. Kenny has Becton as well in a low-scoring contest, 14-7. Mr. Beelan is picking Becton as well, 28-27. And you're the final.
My what do I got on the noteboard here? Obviously, like we said, no doubt, game of the week. Okay. 2 of the best smaller schools around. You add in Heights add in Hawthorne, Pompton Lakes. Listen, a lot of great small schools. These are 2 of the best around. All right? Park Ridge moves the ball. All right? But here's the difference. This Becton defense, Jen, is special. It's special. And it's your year, it's your year. All right? It's all. I said it how many times on K&K, and I said it tonight. Defense wins championships. Coach Breslin's there, and this defense is special, and they're going to show it on Friday night as Becton heads to the NJIC Championship pod game next week. Becton 19, Park Ridge 7. Becton gets it done. All right. Special defense. Gets it done.
Absolutely. All right, our second semifinal matchup in the NJIC Championship pod is 5-1 Pompton Lakes at 3-1 Waldwick. Tracy, I hope you're still watching. Okay, I can't go against your Pompton Lakes. I'm picking them again. I feel it's a little bit of an upset, but I think it's going to be a Becton Pompton Lakes final. So I'm sticking with Pompton Lakes. So Tracy, hope they come through for you, Tracy. We also have.
And by the way, Coach Breslin's saying absolutely defense wins big games, and he knows when I'm saying that coming from an offensive guy, and I'm saying defense wins big games.
Kenny has Waldwick 28-20, and Beelan has Beelan has I can't read that. Is that 20-23?
28-23 Pompton Lakes.
Was it 28 though? Is that 28?
Well, you're gonna say it's 28.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a 28, but I circled Waldwick.
Okay.
I have to check on Beelan's pick there.
No, we'll give Beelan. We'll give
Wait, you know
Beelan.
what? Is that his handwriting? Or
That's
Let me see if I
Beelan.
can see it on my.
I believe it's 28. Let's get it official because I
Yeah.
don't want him crying.
I don't want to mess that one up. Do your pick while I'm checking this, if you
No,
don't mind.
I'll wait.
Because I wrote this on here. What was it? Which game? Waldwick 23, Pompton Lakes 20. Yeah, so 23. So Waldwick. He's got
Okay, so
Waldwick.
he's got Beelan's got
Yeah.
Waldwick. Mm-hmm. All right, and Kenny's going Waldwick also.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just switch. Okay. Beelan saying 23-20. Yes.
Yep.
All right. And again, not because Tracy's on there. These notes are well done before.
Do you have Pompton too? Wow.
I've underestimated Pompton Lakes all year. But I'm not doing it this week. I might get back to doing it next week. But I'm not doing it this week. Pompton Lakes defense again, Coach Breslin. Their defense again gets them to the championship. It's going to be Pompton Lakes and Becton for the championship next week.
Tracy's giving the thumbs up there on the
Tracy's
comments.
giving a thumbs
Pompton
up.
Lakes with the
I
exclamations.
can't promise
Love
you,
it.
Tracy, I can't promise you anything next week. But like I said, when I'm a man of my word and I make my mistake, I've underestimated Pompton a couple times now, and it's burned me. Part of my 20 losses or whatever it is, but not this week. I'm going Pompton 14, Waldwick 6.
We have enough differences there. We could shake things up. Right now, there's a tie for first and a tie for third amongst us four. So this week could shake some things up.
Awesome show.
Yep. Thank you to all of our guests who are on tonight. Really nice to have them. Just good luck. Glad we're this far into the season that they're still playing. Just really nice to see those, to talk to the coaches and, what they're doing for their programs and their kids. And then to have the Millburn with his captains on to see what those kids are taking from the program. That's what it's all about. So
it is. Again, thank you again. And thank you to Rob Neely for coming on for the officiating.
Absolutely.
With a lot of interesting
we'll have
information.
him on again for
absolutely,
sure,
he's going to come on.
Oblige, yep.
Thank you again to Becton. Thank you again to West Essex. Thank you again to Millburn.
And to
all
our
the
viewers.
comments, all
Yep.
the viewers. Again, hey, all fun with our picks. You have some homework to do. You're going to come up with your top
six.
5.
You said 6. You want
top
5
6.
or 6?
Coach Breslin saying great job.
Thanks, Coach Breslin.
Coach Breslin, I just please get this thing scheduled with Wayne Hills because I want to see her. I want to see her look in that camera and go against the green and white. I want to see her do it again. But great show. We'll see you guys next week. Again, breaking news so far, Kearney Girls Soccer will be back next week. Mm-hmm. And who knows who else will be back.
All right.
So
thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, and good night.